Hi friends, it's Kristine with Queen City Stamp Art, and I'm back again this week with another clean and simple card. This time I'm going to be featuring the beautiful new Cactus Cuties Bundle from Stampin' Up. So I've been giving you this whole month of December little sneak peeks of what's to come in January with the new spring mini catalog from Stampin' Up. Cactus Cuties is a new bundle that's going to be coming in that catalog. And this is just such, if you love cactus plants or succulents, this is a beautiful set. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. Mostly because the punch coordinates so beautifully with the stamp set. I don't know if you can see this, but the punch itself has 4 different shapes, and they coordinate with the little planter dish, this cactus, this smaller piece of cactus that you can build together to create different shaped cactuses with this, or cacti, and then this little flower to cut the little cactus flower for the plants as well. So it's very, very cute, and it adds a whole nother layer of fun to this beautiful stamp set. So the stamp set itself, I took some time to create a few different plants using all of the plant images in the set. And you can get a huge variety of succulent plants just from one stamp set. So it's really, really fun. I used Old Olive, Calypso Coral, and Crumb Cake to create these plants, but you could use a variety of greens and get a whole different look to your cactus plants. So I just wanted to show you that as kind of a fun sample of what you could do with this stamp set. So we're going to be using this today to create our clean and simple card. And I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is a wonderful addition to your tool caddy because it really helps to get a clear impression when you're using photopolymer stamps. And so we're going to be using that today. We're also going to be using the punch, and I'm going to pull in my little supplies for my card. We're starting with a base card in Whisper White, thick. I'm just going to give that a nice crease, and then I'm using a little piece of a panel of Petal Pink Designer Series paper from the 6x6 Subtles collection, and I'm just going to add this to my card base. I chose Petal Pink because there's going to be some Calypso Coral used on this card, and Petal Pink is kind of a lighter version of Calypso Coral, so it coordinates really, really nicely. It's a very warm pink. We're also going to be using the blending brush today. So I found a scrap in my stash, and I cut a little circle using a die. And I'm going to line that up with my little panel here, and I'm going to use my Pool Party ink pad to create a soft background for my cactus plant to settle on. It just helps to anchor the whole image. So I'm taking my blending brush, and I put a little ink on my block, and I'm just going to pick up some ink on the blending brush from the block. And I'm going to hold this down, and I'm going to start off the part that I want to shade so that the first blob of ink will actually hit the scrap paper. And then I'm going to bring my blending brush in and just kind of swirl it around the circle to get a nice pale Pool Party backdrop for my cactus. And then when I lift that up, I've got this little focal spot to put my cactus plant. So we're going to continue by using the other ink colors to create the cactus now. So I'm going to take my Calypso Coral out, and I'm going to use the tiny little cactus flower image, and I'm going to stamp that directly onto my circle, like that. And then I'm going to take my scrap of Calypso Coral cardstock, and I'm going to look at the punch, and I see here that the planter dish is right here on the punch in that orientation. So I'm going to orient my planter dish image in the same direction like that, stamp it down, and when you use the Stampin' Pierce mat, you're going to get a much nicer impression, a much more crisp impression of your stamped image. And then I'm just going to punch out the dish because it lined up nicely. So I've got the little planter dish. And now I'm going to stamp the cactus plant. So I'm going to open up my Pear Pizzazz stamp pad. And I'm going to stamp the cactus plant. in Pear Pizzazz ink on a Pear Pizzazz panel, like that. And then that I'm going to feed into the punch as well. Just give it a little squeeze there. And now I have my cactus. And now I can put them together and build my little scene. So I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little strip of glue on the back of the planter dish. And I'm going to glue that to the cactus plant. Oops. Just like this. Just going to hold it for a second. Or you could always just put your block on top of it and let it dry. And then I'm going to take some dimensional adhesive and put this on the back. And I'm going to add this to my little scene. So I want to line it up so that the flower peeks out from behind the cactus plant. And that the cactus plant is kind of centered, just a little bit lower than the circle itself. And then for the sentiment, I chose the little hello sentiment. And so we're going to use that to stamp the greeting on the card front. So I've got my basic gray ink pad. I'm just going to ink up the little hello. And I'm going to stamp that right here under the flower, under the plant, like that. And then that little panel is finished. And now we'll finish putting the card together. So we're going to add some adhesive to the back and add this piece to a mat in Pool Party. Just a very thin little border showing. And then this piece will get added to the card front. I'm just going to center that on the front of the card like this. And then I'm going to pull in some of my polished dots. These are brand new embellishments that are coming. They're very pretty. They come in two colors, the petal pink color and the clear. And they're very smooth. They're just little smooth drops of acrylic, I think, or some sort of photopolymer. And I'm going to be adding a little tiny pink one to the flower. And I'll add a little bit bigger one. There are two sizes, small and large. I'll add the large one over here onto the actual planter dish. Just like that. And that's it for the card today. Very clean and simple, but so cute. This little cactus set is going to be so fun to play with. I can't wait to make more cards. This would be a great one to get and make sets of cards to give to people who love the cactus plants or succulents. It would be a really cute little gift in the acrylic boxes that we have. So you can make 5 cards and put them in a box and give them as a gift. And this would be a great one because you could make a variety of plants for the card fronts. And the sentiments are so generic that they just lend themselves really well for note cards. So I hope you enjoyed the card for today, and I'll look forward to sharing more with you next week. Thanks.